Welcome, welcome, welcome. We're getting live on Facebook right now. Hello as everybody comes on in. We have a few more popping in, and Facebook looks like we're doing what it's supposed to. So welcome, welcome, welcome to the Get Fit With Me, Expanding Your Physical and Mental Fitness group. This group is for individuals who are ready to expand both their physical and mental fitness while helping and supporting others with similar goals all along the way. Health and wellness is not something that is a journey we do on our own. It's who we get support from our family, our friends, or just others along the same journey. And that is what this group is for. It's to support each other along the way. If you're watching on Facebook, drop hashtag live, or if you're watching the replay, drop hashtag replay for me to let me know that you guys are here and watching. Hello, all you lovely women. Happy to have you here today. Before we get into our question or introductions, I want to let you guys know that we have 5 new amazing women this week in the group. We have Rachel R., Rachel H., Leah, Kat, and Amanda. I am super excited for you guys to be part of this group. We have one more coming in here. And if you guys are watching on Facebook, let us know who you are and where you're from. For those of you who are live with me here on Zoom, I have a different way of doing intros. So if you have watched any of these, you know I usually go who you are, where you're from, and what your win is. Well, it's gloomy here in Michigan, and I want to do something less boring. So we're going to do who you are, and then I want you to choose if you want a fun question or an in-depth question. Once you let me know what category, I will then give you your question. Karen knows what I'm talking about. You want to start us off?
Sure. I am Karen Wheatley from Rising Sun, Maryland, and I want a fun question.
Fun question. Okay. Today, what traffic sign best reflects your life right now?
Yield.
Why is that?
I just feel like lately I've just had I've had to wait for a lot of other things to happen and for a lot of other people's needs to be above mine. And so I don't know that it's comfortable being in the yield position, but that's just the way it's been the last few weeks.
I like that. Well, thank you for sharing with us, and thank you for being here, Karen.
Yeah, thanks.
Jennifer, you want to go next?
Hello, I'm Jennifer from Michigan. Fun question.
Fun question. If you could have dinner with a celebrity, who would it be?
Oh, goodness. Well, my son's whispering Luke Bryan, so we'll go with Luke Bryan.
Luke Bryan. Oh, I'm good with that. I'll have some dinner with Luke Bryan.
Right.
Awesome. Well, happy to have you here, Jennifer, and live. Cherry, how about you? Who are you, and what type of question do you want?
Cherry, Springfield, Missouri, and we'll go with fun. Keep the fun going.
Keep the fun going. What are you looking forward to this week?
Just the weekend, resting. Yeah, rest.
Do you have anything planned for the weekend, or just relaxing and rest?
My husband just told me that he's going to be working on Saturday. So kind of throws any plans. If we did have plans, I don't remember what they are, because as soon as he told me, I just was like, delete. And so rest, just hanging out with my kids.
I love it. Well, thank you for being here. And Millie, who are you, and what type of question do you want?
So was it fun or serious? I'm Millie Hines, and I'm from Michigan. So I'm excited to be part of this group.
I'm excited to have you here. Fun or deep? So essentially a serious question.
Oh, we'll go fun. Who wants deep?
What is your favorite game to play?
So we're getting ready to go away this weekend, and we like the game Code Names, if anybody's ever played that, but we played this kitten game. Did anybody hear that before? Poking Kittens or something. It's a card game, and I had bought it, and my husband's like, I don't like that. So I gave it to my niece when her birthday came around. He's like, that's a dumb game. But I think it would be fun because we're having a mix of people for the weekend. So,
Well,
but, yeah.
you will have to let us know how it goes. I've heard of it. I forget the exact name.
Yeah, I forget the name of it because I'm like, I think I'm just going to order it. Or Target might have it, you know, and then we can try it. It is fun. We had fun in the summer. We played it.
Nice. Well, perfect. I'm happy to hear. I love hearing new games. I'm a Uno person myself. It's easy and fun to just do mindlessly.
Yeah.
And Valerie, are you able to talk?
Yes, I am.
Hello. Who
Hello.
are you and what type of question do you want?
I'm Valerie from Michigan, and a fun question.
Fun question. What color do you feel like today?
Purple.
Why purple?
It's my favorite.
Ooh, so you're having a good day because it's your favorite day? Favorite color?
It's an all right day.
Well, happy to have you here. I know we have some new faces on Zoom, which I'm so happy about. I see we have Danielle and we have Tanya on Facebook. Hello, you guys. So let's get into the fun stuff. We are talking about reframing our mindset today. I know for me that the weather has a big play on how I think about my day. And the things or what I eat sometimes plays into how I feel in my clothes and how I talk about myself. And we have probably all experienced that the more negative self-talk we have, the worse we feel about the situations around us or how we feel personally about ourselves. Does that seem right?
Mm-hmm.
And it's something that can be changed is the best part, but it's not easy. So today we're going to end up doing an activity. You will need pencil and paper eventually. So if you guys want to grab that, if you don't have it yet, you're welcome to go grab that real quick as I tell a little story. So I have a really good friend. I have been friends with her for about 5 years now. And this conversation sparked from something that she had said. She was getting ready to do family photos. And she had said, I just really don't like how this part of my body looks. And I never would have guessed that about her. Like she's never mentioned anything. But as soon as she said it, she right away went into, but we are all different. And there's other things I love about my body and I can't always love everything. And I thought that's a great way to think about when we have imperfections that we don't feel comfortable with, whether in relationships, whether it's with ourselves or just in the world with everything happening. There's always going to be some sort of bad, but there's so much more good around and so much more love for ourselves. So that's kind of where this topic came from. Is it was awesome how easily she could say something negative and then remember how much good there is in herself. So that's what I want us to practice today. But before we get into that, we want to know, how do we reframe our mindset? What ideas do you guys have? Have you ever worked on reframing your mindset? Feel free to raise your hand or unmute and speak. It's kind of an open table here.
Yep. I feel like recently, you know, I'm always this, I got to lose weight. I gained the COVID weight and I can't stand it. And so I might whine about it more or make that comment. And somebody said, oh, you're beautiful just the way you are. And I'm like, well, I didn't say I wasn't pretty or not. You know, I said I was fat and chubby right now. So I think it's a reframing, you know, right away people look at, well, you're pretty. It doesn't matter what you look like or how heavy you are. And I know it's more what I'm not comfortable with right now. So it's not that I said I was ugly. It's just that I said I was fat and chubby right now. So I think that was a reframing.
And I think that's a great point, because I think at some point we have all said that I feel fat today. If you have never said that, please tell me what you learned growing up to allow you to never say that. Because at some point we say that in our life, and we do. And then we all look back at those photos 10 years ago and we're like, I said that 10 years ago. Well, I wish I wouldn't have said that. So instead of coming up with, I feel fat today, or I can't do it, or it's too much work, any of those hard negative things we say, let's reframe it through taking a second to breathe after or right before we say it and think, okay, how can I put this in a positive way? If it is, I am out of shape. You're not out of shape, you're out of practice. You haven't practiced in a while. Like that is my go-to for anyone who says they're out of shape. You are out of practice. Just like if we were to do anything else in our life. If you don't practice it all the time, you're out of practice. So when we work on our mind, when we work on reframing our mindset, it allows us the opportunity to think differently about ourselves, our relationships, our family life, and even about like the world around us. You will find that the more frequently you practice this, you will start to realize that in conversations, you will not engage with those negative thoughts. You will reframe your response to it instead of feeding into that negativity, which I know in the last year, there's been so much to try to like, it's really hard to see the positive when there's so much going on. And that is where I learned that incorporating this every day, just once a day, has led me to, when I hear something negative, instead of feeling like I need to insert, I then put that positive spin on it and I reframe it and make it in a more positive way for myself. So we're gonna do the activity now. You guys all have your piece of paper and pens, or pen, you don't need multiple, just one. Okay, I'm gonna set a timer for 2 minutes. I want you to write down as many of these thoughts or sentences or phrases that you say to yourself or you say about things around you. If you saw the anticipation post or you saw the little post inside this event, I had some examples of, I can't do it, I hate doing this, there's so much to do. Anything negative that you've said, I want you to just create a list for 2 minutes. After that 2 minutes, we'll reconvene and I'll give you one more task and then we're gonna start breaking them down for you guys. As you are going through, I am gonna be talking softly to give you some ideas in case you go mind blank, because we all do eventually. We just sit there and be like, I don't have any. So let me get my timer up. We will start now. Feel free to turn your screens off if you want, if you feel more comfortable. So some things that I have heard are, I just don't want to do it. I hate doing housework. There's so much to do. I don't enjoy it. It's too cold. I can't walk. It's too cold out. I don't have the willpower. I don't have the energy. I shouldn't have eaten that. I'm a mess. Why is this happening? I'm a failure. I cannot do it. I'm overwhelmed. I'm too tired. I already blew my diet in the morning. Why not blow it the rest of the day? I'm out of shape. I hate blank about myself. I hate blank about my environment, my relationship. I'm uncomfortable. You guys have about 10 seconds here. Good. Okay. So now I want you to look down at that list and I want you to pick your top 3. What are the 3 that either you struggle with the most internally, the 3 that come up the most for you, or whatever that is. I want you to pick your top 3. You have about 1 minute to do so. Oh, Danielle had some good ones. I'm the worst at laundry. I am tired. I should be doing more. I'm qualified to even do this. My legs are too big. I need to be better at saving money. I'm not good enough for this. Okay. Now we're going to go around and you guys are going to share the 3 that you've circled. If you do not feel comfortable and you'd like to just drop them in the chat and have me read them, I'm more than happy to do that. But we're going to go around and we're going to start. You guys are going to tell me what your 3 are, and then we're going to pick one of them and we're going to break that one down for you to give you an example. So Karen, you started us out with welcomes. Do you want to keep us going?
Sure. So I'm scared at how many I just could like rattle off by myself. I'm like, wow, I didn't even need you to talk to me. I was, but my first one is my house is a mess, which it probably isn't, but I feel like when I'm here working at my desk, I should be cleaning my house. When I'm cleaning my house, I should be working at my desk. And so I'm always in that kind of black hole of where to be present at the right time. I feel like I am old and irrelevant sometimes in my job because we hire all these really young people now. And I'm like, ugh, I want to be supportive of them. And I am, but anyway. And then this is a really, I don't like my hair. I don't like having to do this little bobby pin thing because I don't get up early enough to do my hair every day. And so that's what it ends up being. And I don't like it. So there you go.
Thank you for sharing those 3. Which one do you want to break down?
Actually, the one that comes up the most is my hair, which is so dumb, but it's lazy because I won't get out of bed to do it because I work from home. So I think, well, no one sees me except when I'm on a Zoom call, which I couldn't even get out of bed this morning for a Zoom call because I was yielding to other people and what they needed. And so it goes on and on. So I don't know.
Do you want to do your hair? Do you want to do the work one or the house one? You pick. Which one is going to bring you the biggest benefit?
Well, I guess it depends on which one do you think is the deepest one to dive into.
I don't know. They're all going to be about equal. So
okay, we can just do my house is a mess. We'll do that.
So why is your house a mess? If you were to look around, why are things not always put away? Why are things not always vacuumed or picked up? When you think of mess, why are things like that?
Well, when we have a puppy, so that there's more puppy hair around than I would like, but I don't know. I guess it's just one of those things that always frustrates me because you can clean your house and then 10 minutes later, there's something that needs to be recleaned or dust gets, like you dust one day and then the next day, especially with the heat on now, it's like, oh my gosh, I just dusted. Or with a puppy and she is great, but I will clean the windows and then tomorrow there will be nose prints on the windows and that just frustrates me so much. And I don't have children. And so I can't imagine what it's like when you have kids and yeah. So then I get frustrated and immobilized because does that make sense? Like, it's kind of like a task that you can never win. And so you just freeze and then it gets worse. So.
Have you ever thought of, instead of your house is a mess, my house is lived in, my house is loved?
Yes. And I realized too, that you can get so obsessed with keep making it clean. Like if I sweep the floor and then I see a tiny piece of paper or whatever on there, I'm like, oh, I gotta get it. And that's ridiculous too. And so I just need to kind of let that go. Not to the point of having a bad house, but yeah.
So if you think about your house as it's a place that is lived in, it's a place that is loved, do you feel like you could let go of those little nitpicky things that we do? Because we know it's life. Life is never looking perfect.
Mm-hmm.
Our house is never going to look perfect. Cherry's got kids. It's dishes after dishes for days on end.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah. Yeah. And do you want to have a perfect house, or do you want to live life? Right.
mm-hmm. And which one sits better with you?
Oh, definitely living life. Yeah, for sure.
Cherry?
I feel like you can pick the one area or one place that can be tidy, and then the rest of the house, it's okay if it's lived in.
Mm-hmm.
But then like to keep your mind at ease, pick that one location that is like, okay, I have to tidy this every day or something like that. But everything else can be lived in.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's a good point.
So next time you say your house is a mess, what are you going to say instead?
I'm going to say, look at this beautiful lived in place.
I want you to text me next time you do that.
Okay. It'll be tomorrow.
Okay. Do it. Thank you for sharing.
Yeah.
Cherry, how about you? What 3 things did you write down?
I'm not good enough. There's too much to do, and there's mess everywhere. The mess one. So when you picked that one, I was just like, yes, that one's it. The mess is everywhere all the time. I have 9 kids. So there's too much to do. I guess let's dive into that one.
Too much to do. Okay. So when we think about too much to do, what, if you could pick one thing, what would be that one thing that you could do every single day that would make all the other things seem pointless?
Probably being grateful.
So when we think of there's too much to do, what can we change that to be as I'm grateful for?
Yeah, the list could go on and on, I guess, of all the things I could be grateful for. I just have to remember to think of that when I'm feeling that overwhelm of, my list is too long and I got to get to that and there's a deadline for that. So how do you train your mind to think of the other wording instead?
For me, it has been writing it down and putting it. So when I get overwhelmed, I'm grateful for the ability to own my own business. I'm grateful for the ability to have my own deadlines. I'm grateful for the ability to create my own flexibility. When it comes to work, you have all the flexibility because it's all you. Same when it comes to your kids. You're grateful for their help around the house to get things done. It may not always be done to the standard we want it to be, but done is better than perfect. So I find writing it down, I'm grateful for, is a really good one that I like to go to, because we forget to look at the things that we are grateful for in our life. The negativity likes to seep in. So that I'm grateful for is the nice, easy one to place in. And you can put whatever you want after that.
Yeah, that sounds good. So right off the top of my head, I'm thinking, there's so much to do. Instead, I have a team behind me to help me do this stuff.
Yes, I love that. Thank you for sharing, Cherry. Jennifer, you want to go next?
Sure. I'll apologize already for the background noise. We are in quarantine here in this house, so.
Oh, joy.
We all have COVID. Yes, it is kind of funny because I'll be very grateful right off the bat that we have no symptoms, just the positive.
Good.
So, Good. I'm the hot mess express queen. That's just our life. Not my thing. So I've taken on a new position and it's behind a desk instead of on the road. And I'm very quick to always say it's not my thing. That's a catch for me because it's a lot of computers. They're not my thing. But, and then too muddy is like, talk about a messy house. We have a small little hobby farm and it's muddy going running. We live on a dirt road. It's muddy. I have dogs. It's muddy. I have children. Guess what? My life is mud, constant mud right now. So those are my three things.
Out of those three, which one do you want to work through?
Probably not my thing because I have to make it my thing. It's my job. I have to realize, like you've all just said, be grateful for, it was a promotion. So I'll be grateful for the promotion. Along with it came more flexible hours, more family friendly hours. I have to be grateful for that and figure out the rest of it to actually be quite honest. So that's that.
And the thing that's not your thing is it's the technology portion. Is that right?
Correct. Yes.
So it's something you're unfamiliar with.
Yeah. I mean, yes, it's not only that I'm unfamiliar. Obviously, computers, technology has been around for a while. It's something I haven't taken the time to face. I mean, 3 months ago, I was trouncing through your backyard with a dog, and that's my thing. So taking on the responsibility to make it my thing is where I struggle. Because I mean, it'd be pretty bad to say I'm not familiar with it. I haven't made myself familiar with it. Does that make sense?
Yeah, that makes perfect sense for any of us I went from being an in-person personal trainer to let's go virtual and figure this out. That there's that stress that comes with it. There's the fear of, for me, I'm going to screw this up and I'm not going to know how to undo the screw up that I created. And it's all that unfamiliarity that comes with it. So instead of it's not your thing, you're comfortable where you're at. And you're learning to become uncomfortable. But it's not an uncomfortable jump right in. It's I'm going to try one uncomfortable thing this time. But you're comfortable where you're at.
Right.
Another word is, I have a whole list of like words that I use. Another one is you have the opportunity to learn a new skill.
Yes, it is an opportunity. That's for sure. That's for sure. It's just getting that mindset. You know, there's some days where I'm like, okay, I'm going to do this. Then something goes wrong with the computer, or I can't find a file, or because I have not that organizational skill set. My desktop looks like, PDFs blew up all over the place, and finding the right one to go there. It's just, and then on top of the position, there's not a lot of training to go with it. So it's self-training or relying on others. I don't rely on others very well. So that's a struggle for me to incorporate other help.
And when the day comes,
definitely an opportunity.
It's the opportunity to learn something new, the opportunity to ask for help when you don't feel comfortable. It's an opportunity to grow your skill set. So instead of it's not my thing, it's an opportunity to grow into a greater and stronger career.
Yes.
Karen,
very
have
true.
some input?
I was just going to say, my job is actually training. And so when you say that, that you're uncomfortable relying on others, as a trainer, like we love when people say, I need help. Like it just it gives me personal satisfaction to think, oh, wow, I can help somebody. So I would just tell you from the other side of the coin, like to not be so independent that you don't want to ask for help, because your trainer might be sitting there going, man, I wish that somebody would need me.
And I agree, and I appreciate that, but that's the problem with my the environment that I'm working in, is they don't have that set up. They don't have that training set, and I think it's frustrating for me. In my previous position, I was a trainer, and now we have this position where there is not a trainer, because exactly that, like as a trainer, you want to be needed. Now moving forward, there should be, and there isn't. So it'd be hard enough to ask for it, needing it. But then when it's not even available, I mean, directly available, you know, not. So I agree with you though. I appreciate that. Yes.
That's true.
Also the opportunity for you to become the trainer for the next person who comes into your spot.
Well, we can see. That'd be interesting. We'll see.
Well, thank you for sharing, Jennifer. Millie, you want to go next?
Sure.
Perfect. What are your 3?
I hate that I can't fit into any of my clothes in my closet. I shouldn't have eaten that, and it's way too hard for me to lose weight now at my age. So, and I have a whole bunch more in that same category. And I don't like that I say those things to myself, and I really try to reframe it a lot. I think it would be, I hate that I can't fit into any of my clothes. And I feel like I'm working towards that right now, because I just hired somebody to come in and help me organize it, because my closets are bursting with clothes that don't fit me. And I don't like opening them because, you know, I had lost weight, and then I gained it right through COVID. I did so good for like a year and a half, maintaining it and keeping it off. And I got rid of my fat clothes. And now I got all these nice clothes and I can't get into them. So I'm having somebody come, and I'm feeling like it's time to get rid of them, so I don't have that reminder in front of me. But I hate to do that, because I look at it as, you know, that costs me stuff. And so
first piece of advice is don't get rid of them. Put them somewhere so you have them. Because you've done it once, you'll do it again.
I know. And my husband keeps saying that. You'll do it again. I know.
And it's a long game. So when it comes to that, there is a life expectancy. I hung on to a pair of jeans that were standing jeans in the moment when I had them, and I kept hanging on to them, and I put them on and realized it's time to go. So there is a life expectancy for those clothes that we want to fit into. But for now, put them in a box, put them somewhere else, and get some clothes that you feel comfortable in. Because if you feel comfortable in the clothes, you're going to feel better.
Right.
It doesn't matter the number, the size, anything like that. You want to have clothes that you feel comfortable in. You feel comfortable going out. You feel comfortable selling your product to.
Mm-hmm. Right. Yep.
So when we talk about that, when you open your closet and you see the clothes that don't fit, what the thoughts that come to your mind? What are the thoughts that come?
Well, that I want to get back into them. And so part of it is positive. And then part of it is I don't like the reminder that I have clothes that don't fit me. And so I literally have like this small area of clothes that fit me. And because I bought that clothes temporarily or whatever they are, you know, clothes that fit. And, you know, it just doesn't make me feel good. I just want to get rid of everything and start with the little bit and work my way back. But I don't, because I spent a lot of money on this. I said I'm never going back, and then I'm back. So I think I'm more disappointed with myself over that.
When you lost all that weight, did you know that losing weight is not a straight line? Did you? Yeah. So you have to think about, what did you do over COVID? You'd shared with me all the amazing things that you did.
Yes.
Would you have traded those experiences to be able to still fit into those clothes?
No, No, that's a good point. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Yeah, I mean, it really is. And sometimes I think about that for sure. I mean, I said it to you, so yeah.
And when you open the closet, think about it as it's the opportunity for me to do one small thing for myself today to remind me of how I felt like that and how I want to feel better like that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's good.
And it's never going to be a journey like this. Oh, my weight goes down. No, whoever tells you that, they're lying, promise you.
Right.
It's a this, and then it's a this, and then it's maybe this. It's got its own graph that sometimes we can read, sometimes we can't. Yeah. So if we are living life and we're able to lose the weight, living the life we want, that is the overall goal. We should be able to do the things we want, eat and drink the foods we want, and still be able to feel good about ourselves.
Yeah.
That is what I'm for. I'm to help you with that.
That's what I'm here for.
So next time you open your closet, what is going to try to be your first thought?
That, look at all those clothes that I'm going to get into someday soon or someday again. It can't be a quick fix. And that's what I want. That was one of the other things I wrote down is, I want the easy way to lose it. Like, can I just get bypass surgery or, whatever bariatric? And I can't, I don't qualify for that. But, I always look for the easy way, and I do want to get back into them, and I don't want to get rid of them. However, I feel like I could bless others with these things. Somebody is sitting without clothes or whatever, and I have a lot of nice ones that aren't being worn. So I was all hung up on I should, consign them. Well, that's not working out the way I thought it would. And so I should just not worry about it. Open it freely without, I do have a little overspill and I need to clean it. So I need to do the Maria Kundo or whatever her name is and ask, is this bringing me joy? So,
yes.
Right.
And if it's going to feel good to give some of those clothes away, keep some of your favorites and give and feel that joy of giving that away to somebody else who needs them.
Right. That's how my thought process these days.
Something we did in my closet, because I gained a lot of weight because of some health issues and then of COVID, blah, blah, the list goes on. Anyway, when I took my new position, because I had to start actually wearing real clothes, I wore a uniform before that, went through the closet and I boxed things up with a date. Like she said, there's an expiration date to keeping things. And my husband made the suggestion. He said, give yourself 6 months. If you don't fit into them with 6 months and you're not headed towards them, he said, you're probably not going to fit them. He goes, but they're not, the restrictions of your clothing, how they fit you or whatever. But mine were like a 6 month time period. If I don't fit in them in 6 months, I'm never going to, is what we decided. And then we stored them away. And then 6 months, I'll go back through the box and keep or donate or sell or whatever it may be. Just a suggestion.
That's good. Thank you.
And that way I didn't have to look at them with the depression of, oh, this used to fit. That was my thing. And then I tried on, then I'd get more depressed because it really didn't fit yet. And so if it's a goal in 6 months, as opposed to looking at it straight in the face,
well, that's a good idea. It would clear it out. So yeah, that's good thought.
I love that suggestion. I've never thought about that, but you're right. When it's in your closet and you're looking at it, you're more tempted to try it on and then realize that it doesn't fit. So I really like that suggestion. Thank you for sharing.
Yeah.
Yeah. Sadly, no, I'm stuck with for a while was workout clothes because that's the only stretchy thing that fit me for a bit. But hey, it all works out, right?
Yeah.
And I put a date on it. That was my next thought of putting a date on it so it didn't just keep getting shoved aside or lost, like a date of when I'm going to make a decision. I have a big clutter problem. So that I needed to do that with the things that I can. I have some things I will never part with. They're family member items. My parents are both deceased. So I have a clutter issue, but my stuff, I need to put a date on it. And so the clothing is a date to try on and part with.
I like that. Thank you. And Valerie, are you able to share your 3? And maybe, and okay. So, oh, she'd put, I can't get my eating under control. I feel like a failure, overwhelmed. Yes, those are all ones that come up. I can't get my eating under control. You're nourishing your body. Think about anytime we put our food in our body, whether it's a lot or a little, we're nourishing our body. The next step is remembering that it's all in portions and it's not, just can't eat everything all the time, but you can still indulge in the things you love. But when you eat, you nourish your body. When you move, you reward your body. So when we think about these things that we don't enjoy doing, or these things that we feel bad about, think of them as ways of rewarding our body or nourishing our body for that. Another one that she had said, got to bring back the chat back up. I am a failure. So I feel like a failure. That is one that, Valerie, I would love to dive deeper into that for you specifically, because the word failure is different for everybody. Is it in work? Is it at home? Is it in a relationship? And how we reframe that all depends on where we feel like a failure in. Do we feel like a failure in ourselves? How we react and reframe that all depends on that situation. When you feel overwhelmed, it's very similar to Cherry's. I'm grateful for the opportunity to have all these revenue streams or to be able to do all these opportunities out there. For me, I get very overloaded at the end of the week when we are like, let's go socialize with people. I socialize with people Monday through Friday. By Friday night, I need no socialization. And I get overwhelmed when we have to like go to an event of some sort. But then I remind myself that I have the opportunity to go and meet people and to go see people I don't usually get to see. And it's more of thinking of that in a more positive way rather than I have to go do this. Because at some point we've probably all gone to our family members or our mother or father-in-laws and thought, oh, crap, we have to go see the whole family again. And if you haven't, great job. But I know we all at some point have not been up for it. And it's thinking about, I get to have these relationships. I get to have these more memories before time goes. So when we feel those feelings of having to do so much or going to these things that we don't want to go to, think of how great I get to create one last memory with this person, because unfortunately we don't know what life brings us each and every day. So let's take the opportunity to indulge in whatever we want to. Food, drinks, opportunities out with friends, going to see families, going to the events that we don't always feel up for. And we got Renee on. Happy to see you, Renee. So how did you guys like the activity? We're going to go around. I want to know how you liked the activity, what your takeaway was, and is there anything, I don't know, I have a lot I want to ask. I want to know your takeaway from the activity, and what are you doing this upcoming week, or what is your win? If you have nothing that you're really working on this week, feel free to share a win. If you have something you're committing to or that you're ready to work on, then share that. Does that make sense? Sherry, let's start with you.
Right when you said, does that make sense? Like what you said went out of my brain. And I'm like, you're going to have to tell me again what I'm supposed to say. The takeaway, I got that. Okay, the takeaway, we are so similar. We feel like we are all alone and this is just me going through this hard thing. And all of us, there's so many commonalities in everything that we're all going through. And yeah, I could relate to like every single story. So that was the takeaway. Now what?
Do you have something that you're working on or committed to this week for yourself? And if not, share a win that you're having.
Okay, this one's kind of both. So I do photo projects with my kids every month. And this month I was taking photos of them in blanket nests. And I have 9 kids, and I started working on it and bending down, getting up, bending down, fixing the blanket, fixing that, making it look right. My body was sore after doing it, and I could not do everybody in one whole set. So I had to take it in stages, and I finally completed the last one today. There is a couple more that I want to do, but that series of each kid in their blanket nest is complete.
That is awesome. I know you'd shared that earlier in the week with me, and I'm happy that you got that done. With 9 kids, that's a lot to begin with. So if you feel up for it, post the photo for us once you have the whole thing. I'd love to see it. Perfect. Millie, how about you? What was your takeaway? And then what is a win or something you're working on for the week?
Well, I feel the same way. I already like this group. It's the first time we really met, but I like that there's, even though, mine is dealing with my weight, everybody has issues. We all do. And it feels good to have this common group of we're all feeling one way or another about things. And I think it's just women in general. And here's this group of strangers and I'm already feeling connected. So I like that. And one of the things I want to work on this week is, I met with a client yesterday and she had just lost 35 pounds. And you hear that all the time. Oh, I just lost weight or I gained weight or whatever. And I said, oh, how'd you do it? And she told me, oh, it's this book. And I had that book. I had it right here in my office. It's on my shelf and I never opened it and started reading it. So it's about intermittent fasting. And I've been learning and listening to podcasts and all that. And it's like, now I got to sit down and read. And I started doing that this week and I want to continue and work on getting back. We travel so much. So it's kind of hard because we never know like when we're going to be home to eat dinner. And so it's been a challenge, but I want to try to make that fit into my lifestyle. And I want to finish reading the book. So the win was I had the book already and now I could actually read it.
That's awesome.
I'm really interested and intrigued by the word blanketness. I never heard that before. So I do hope you post pictures and that we could see what that is.
Well, thank you for sharing, Millie. Once you complete the book, let us know how it was. And if you want to drop the title to the book, feel free to do that in the Facebook group in the comments.
Okay.
If you read it and you find it's been helpful. If you read it and it's not helpful, I don't encourage you to share. But
well, it's like the third time somebody recommended it. So I think this book is the book I should be reading. And then just on happenstance, I was listening to a podcast and it was the author of this book.
Oh,
and
cool.
It's like, okay, so I am meant to read this book. This is the program I need. So.
Well, happy to have you here.
Thank you.
Karen, how about you? What was your takeaway and action or win?
Well, I think my takeaway is going to be the same as I'm sitting here going, man, these ladies are really cool. Like I can't wait to, I don't know. I feel very connected to the group too. So it is nice to know that things that other people struggle with are some of the same things I struggle with. And especially if you work from home like I do, it is nice to have some company during the day, and it's just, I love it. And Millie, I love the printed bra and underwear in your background. I'm like, that is cool.
So that's what I sell. So on a lot of Zoom calls.
Perfect. I'm like, man, that's just cool.
I could hook you up.
My win for the week was that I was feeling a little bit, one of my things was, one on my list that I didn't circle was that I was overwhelmed and everything. And I think I wanted to improve that by writing down little goals. And so I could like start feeling like some sense of accomplishment. And so I went and I got a blank planner And every day I write it out, and, you know, when I do something, I highlight it in orange so that at the end of the week, I can see all these orange things, hopefully more than the ones that are crossed out. But it's just things like, you know, getting up at 5:45 or getting 8,500 steps in, or flossing, you know, just something normal that, I don't know, to some people it may sound really stupid, but otherwise I forget, or I let it go. And then I think, oh, I'm not even taking care of myself. I'm not flossing. I'm not doing. So I'm adding to it. Like I'm trying to break down my whole housework by a day, you know, like, okay, so tomorrow I'm doing bathrooms and that's it. And I can cross it off the list and I can highlight it in orange and it makes me feel better. So that's my win.
That's good.
I love that you got a new planner. That's awesome. And you get to see it as you cross it off.
Yeah.
Also, you're kicking my butt in steps. If anybody has a Fitbit and would like to be part of the step challenge that my mom and Karen and I are in, just shoot me a message. We can become Fitbit friends. And now that I work from home, I'm no longer the leader. You guys all give me a run for my money.
It's brutal. Yes. Yeah.
Awesome. Thank you for sharing, Karen. And Jennifer, how about you? What was your takeaway in an action or win?
I think my takeaway, similar to everybody else's, was perspective. All of us have a perspective of our life. And when we hear other people's lives, putting it back into a new perspective of what's going on. If that makes any sense. Maybe it just makes sense to me. I don't know. But a perspective, and I take that with, whoops, sorry about that. Kind of what we're going through in a household. We're in quarantine, and everybody's perspective of a COVID quarantine is sick and icky and gross. Well, we've gotten more lawn work done than we have all fall. I ran yesterday and today out of absolute determination. So it's my win that I will not let COVID get me. I started feeling it come to my lungs a little bit. Symptom. I went running, cleaned it out, stayed on my inhalers. So I think it's perspective of what we think is going to happen and what we want to have happen. And that's also kind of wraps it up into my win for things. And conquering the mud, because mud's back now. We almost had it dried out, the perspective that it was gone. So it's just some bonus liquid out there.
Yeah, lots of bonus liquid.
Just say a prayer for me in my muddy house. I mean, and that kind of what everybody's doing, like the overwhelming, it's taken me probably 13 years to get rid of my OCD as I itch, thinking about the mud. My OCD of like living, just live, the perspective of living versus having to have a clean house. My family would probably laugh if they heard me say this because I come unglued over a lot of things. It's getting better.
I love the perspective because you're right. It's all our perspective on it. And I love that you went out and run twice, that you got more yard work done. If you guys get bored, I have a lot of leaves out here and they're getting wet. They're pretty bad. So if you get really bored, let me know. But awesome. Thank you for
I'll skip my husband for hire.
Thank you for jumping on. And Valerie, are you able to talk at all? Well, Valerie, if you want to drop in Facebook your takeaway and your winner action, you are more than welcome to. I know we'd love to hear it. So we are going to wrap it up. Oh, Cherry dropped a photo in the chat. I'm going to take a look at it first before hold on, I got to save it to my desktop. It's downloading. I'll look at it later. I can try to send it to you guys or drop it in the comments as well if you have not seen it. Thank you guys so much for being here today. I love this. I think this is one of the bigger calls I've had in a while for sure. And for the Commit to Your Health program, I know a few of you are in it already. There are still 2 spots available for anyone who is interested in hearing the details or who wants to be part of it. That starts November 21st. And for all of you guys who are in the program already, late next week, you will be getting an email of like, remember what you decided to commit to. You guys will be getting that because some of you guys decided 2 months ago. So I want to give you a refresher. So look for an email from me. next week. If you are interested in hearing any of the details, just drop me in the comments on Facebook or here, and I will let you know those details. I will see you guys next week for our movement workshop at 3. Bye, you guys.
Bye, everybody.